What's happening, YouTube? It's the Top Hat Guy here, and I know it's been a while since I made a video. I have several projects I'm working on, several things that I'm planning. A quick update. I'm including this segment, this new segment, which is going to be the video game segment. I'm very excited about this one. I'm going to be delivering, as well as the video game segment, later on, entertainment segment where I talk about new TV shows and stuff coming up, and movies, of course. But not not just that. I'm also thinking of making a whole segment about legends, and starting with that, local legends, such as like spookies, um, kind of like ghost stories or just mysterious happenings. Folklore tales that are either local and then straight. See, you know, um, they span across the United States. I'll probably start on the East Coast because that's where I reside, so it'd be just easier. And I would even like to even go to these locations and talk to people and see if they've heard stories about it, if they've witnessed any of the supernatural happenings. And I honestly want to thank my friend Austin for recommending me making a segment about this because, like, I know a good bit of ghost stories around here anyway, so this was just perfect, honestly. It's awesome. So Austin, thank you. I appreciate you, buddy. You're awesome, and stay that way. So now back to the topic at hand, though. Yes, a video game segment. I've been super excited to do this. What I'm going to be doing with this segment is a lot of variation of things. It's a branch to, the video game community. There's so much branches to it. There's people who just watch people play video games streaming on Twitch and stuff. There's people who watch reactions of people reacting to people playing video games, which is just fantastic. every every avenue is just wonderful to just watch. And then there's the whole community of gaming itself, which I personally appreciate. Even if every now and then I have some really bad UO flashbacks or some really bad Baron's chat experiences. Oh boy. And I figured the best thing to do here to start this segment off is just go through my video game story experience. I think it'll be it'll help y'all understand like how in depth I am with video games and how huge it is to me. And that seems like something I'm really good at doing anyways. I'm gonna do the same thing with the music segment, by the way, so get ready for that because that's a hell of a story. But again, that's a video for another time. Right now, let's start with gotta go with probably the era of the Nintendo 64. I think that's where my memories for gaming started, like really started. I remember distinctly playing Mario 64 and having a yellow Pikachu. I'm pretty sure it was a Pikachu controller. I'm almost certain. Like, I could totally be bullshitting, but I'm pretty certain that's what the yellow controller was for Pikachu. If it wasn't, my brain just made it that way. So if it's not, Nintendo, you did something wrong. It should have been. But yes, that game was incredibly hard, by the way. Holy, whew! As a kid, had such difficulties. Like, I remember till this day just having nightmare flashbacks of that freaking baby penguin. If you know, you know. And the ice slide, y'all. Anyways, moving on from that game, I also got into every now and then playing 007 GoldenEye, and man, I was so bad at this game compared to all my siblings. My cousins and my brother would play with me, and they would whoop my ass. And it wasn't even fair. They had no mercy. Because there was no mercy in GoldenEye. And I wouldn't have it till this day. I would not have it any other way. It was a great experience, even if I had to, like, I would have to look at their screen to even keep up. And, they would, they'd be like, no screen watching. I'd be like, shut up. I can't keep up without it. Oh, man. And I mean, I think the best part about that is I'm almost certain that the people that made Halo saw GoldenEye and was like, we can make a profit from this. Like, this can work. This is working, and they just made it like an alien version. And I swear that's pretty much all that Halo was, other than the campaign, which was fantastic, mind you. Freaking fantastic. And we'll get here, though. But I'm moving a little ahead. I'm sorry. So, after the Nintendo 64, with its beautiful Mario Party 64, its F-Zero, so many good games. The 64 did it right. It really did. And it was a magical experience to have, being such a young kid growing up playing it. Like, being born in 97, I have some things that I have problems with, but you can't fix when you was born, of course. But also, I do appreciate the benefits I got being even in the end half of the 90s. Was just still, I still was old enough in the 2000s to enjoy things like the Nintendo 64 and still had memories of it. And not just that, but also the next console that really touched my life, and the dragon that completely changed my life forever. The PlayStation 1 and the friendly little purple dragon, Spyro. Oh man. Let me tell y'all about me and Spyro the Dragon. Till this day. You know what? Yeah. Whooped this game's ass too, by the way. But not only did I that the PS4 remake, but even back in the day, I got all nasty Nork. I torched his butt up, y'all. I think we all did. I like to think we all beat Spyro 1. Not all of us, but I like to think y'all did. But yes, Spyro the Dragon was a huge game in my life. I remember having such a difficult time in the level where you're like on the treetops, just you have all the speed ramps, and there's this one dragon that's like off in the distance, like all by himself. If you don't see him, you don't even think you can get over there. And there's so many locations like that on the first game that just made the game so much better. Because back in the PlayStation 1 era, there was hardly internet to look up walkthroughs. I definitely didn't. I'm sure some people did, but I was a kid, guys. I didn't. I persevered for hours looking around every nook and cranny in a video game. That's what I did. And you know what? It worked. For one, it made me appreciate the game so much. It made me play longer on it. And yeah, you have more time as a kid. I get it. People try to, sell and market towards a audience that tries to respect our time a little more. But I mean, at the same time, let's be honest. Not all games do that these days. Like there's a good bit that don't as well, and that was a big problem in the MMO history for a good while there. I mean, even WoW fell into that trap. Every expansion after Legion. And we'll get to that game too, and that's a huge story as well. But anyways, Spyro the Dragon, the first one, took a long time for me as a kid, but I beat it. And then I found out there weren't just one game in the series. There weren't just two games in the series. There were 3 games in this series. Oh, I had some gaming to do, y'all. And gaming I did. I popped in Ripto's Rage, and oh man, when you start out in Glimmer or Shimmer, pretty sure it's Glimmer. I don't know. One of those, but the whole gem mine aspect and all that, like little mouse with little pickaxes, little miners and whatnot. You had the freaking dinosaurs running around. It was like I had no idea what I was jumping into. But then you get out of this world and you realize that yeah, this is just a world. This ain't Aslan? Aslan? Something like that. I say I love this game, but I can't pronounce his world. I know Autumn Falls is absolutely beautiful. I think that's the starting zone. That's either the starting zone or then the second zone. But either way, every single stage level is just beautiful. Even on the PlayStation 1, it was terrific, y'all. It was because like you have to remember back in those days in the PlayStation 1 era, those were the best graphics at the time. I mean, not some of them, but I mean, Spyro 2's that was as beautiful for me as it got for a good while. I mean, you gotta remember, 64 F-Zero was rough. Like, it was, you squint your eyes and it's like, is that pixels or is that, what is that? You go back, like, me and my friend Jared, we've gone back and played some good old classic games, and for a while, we tried on an old time Need for Speed game, and our eyes just hurt. Oh, man. Oh, I don't even think Patrick could have played the game. It was over at his house, and oh, that was a good old time. I tell you what, playing legacy games now, y'all, do it. It's funny, y'all. I promise you'll have a blast because y'all are so used to the HD resolution of the TV screens these days and all the freaking the FPS on the old games is just oh, it's good times, y'all. Y'all just had to y'all have to experience it. It was a time y'all just had to experience if you didn't. It was something else. I'm sure people older than me say that about the Atari and stuff, and I'm sure it was warranted too, because they have these memories. But man, I feel like it was such a magical time to grow up from the Nintendo 64 up to the Xbox 360. Those were in between. That was just magic era of video games. That's what I'm gonna call it. People can call it golden all they want, but I'm gonna call it even further beyond just golden. It was magical. And of course, I got to Ripto and I whooped his butt, burned him in that lava, got him good. That boss battle was actually not the hardest. I think I had the worst trouble with probably Crush. Is Crush or is it probably Gulp? Actually, I think Gulp was the big. Yeah, Crush was the one with the because he crushes people. Okay, so it was Gulp. Had the worst trouble with Gulp for sure. Big dang dinosaurs. And I didn't expect the third Spyro to the villain to be another dragon. That was the whole underlining story of that one is really cool. And the whole story, understanding from Dragon Shore all the way to Nasty Nork, all the way to Ripto, and that whole Avalon world. Avalon, that's what it is. And then you go to the other side of the world. Is what I guess it says at the beginning, and apparently all the dragons had disappeared from that part of the world, and that's because it's being ruled by one queen dragon who wants to use the rest of the baby dragons powers to, you know, to have magical power. I guess I don't really know what happens there. I guess she only has so much power, or she just wants more. Who knows? It was it was a great game though. It was the first time that you played as more than just Spyro, and for me, playing as the female kangaroo, Kanga or whatever her name was, that was awesome. Bouncing that high, I probably spent I probably spent at least 2 hours in her world, in her first. I think her name's Sheila actually. But in her first world, and man, it was. I had a ball. And then you find out, like in the very next world, that they also have implemented like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater into the thing. And at this time, I hadn't played Tony Hawk yet. I didn't do that until PlayStation 2. But they added skateboarding for Spyro, and I'm like, what is going on here? This is awesome. Because, as y'all probably don't know, I also skateboard, and I mean, Spyro skateboarding was just some I didn't know I needed in my life. But I needed it and I had it and I was so grateful for it. it was fantastic. The whole game. I'm sure that probably threw some people off trying to 100% the game and being like, I don't want to play skateboarding games, but like I don't know so many people that complained about it because it was so fun. And then you got the Sergeant Bird, and you got the Yeti. The Yeti was a little clanky for me in the PlayStation 1 era, but I liked the Frozen Worlds where like you could freeze the enemies, and then you could use those little towers that shot like a laser kind of thing. I guess using the sun. I don't know what's using, but it can melt them and hurt the enemies, and it was so much fun. That whole game was just 10 out of 10. They did it right. Somniac, y'all. I played a lot more of your games later on too, and I think that's a great bridge actually into my next era actually, which would be right onto the PlayStation 2. And there's so many stories for this console. Like this console brought all my friends together. I had two controllers for most of my life on there, and the first game I would definitely have to mention is 100% Ratchet and Clank. Now, I did not beat the first Ratchet and Clank. I instead got Ratchet and Clank Going Commando as my first Ratchet and Clank experience, which was weird. I didn't have the first copy when I had my PlayStation 2. I didn't get the first copy until many years later, and till this day, I haven't 100% Ratchet and Clank 1. However, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando was a absolutely phenomenal, life-changing game for me as a kid. For one, it was probably the only game where I played that my character had a gun since 007 GoldenEye. And we all remember how bad I was at that, so you know how I was a little, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this game. But it looked fun, and combat was entirely different than 007 GoldenEye because it wasn't that kind of game, obviously. And like, you know, you had melee combat with a wrench. You looked like this furry creature that turned out to be called a Lombax, but I didn't at the time know. I thought he was like a squirrel or something, to be honest with you. And he had a robot sidekick, which at the beginning of the game you don't even have yet. You do like about 2 missions until you go and actually save Clank. But I thought that was so cool too. And then you get Clank and you can hover and glide and eventually fly, and all these guns that level up and like made you want to use every single gun so you could see the max level and see what they did at the end. It was a phenomenal game. It was absolutely spectacular. After that game, I ended up prestiging in that game, which is pretty much like hero mode, I think is what it's called. Once you beat the game, you can go back and you keep all your bolts and your guns, and You can, I think, even level up one more past the max level if you have your guns maxed, and they turn like blue if I'm not mistaken. That's either that or the third one. But oh man, the game wasn't too like it wasn't too hard, but as it progressed, there were challenges, and I mean, I'm pretty sure back in the day, my hardest difficulty for it was the Mecha Clank suit, where he's like a big giant robot, and you have to, fight on that whole, I think like a moon or something. It's, I know it sounds so weird if y'all never played these games, but it was fun, y'all. It really was absolutely fantastic, and I think the Ratchet and Clank series is going nowhere anytime soon. It seems like they've made a revival with right when right around the time the PS5 came out, they came out with a new game in the series. Probably starting off a new series, to be honest of them, because they have like 1 through 4, then the whole Ratchet and Clank in Time kind of thing with Crack in Time and all those, and Tools of Destruction. God, I do not know the order of these because that was the PS3 era. That's a story, and we'll get there. But yeah, I played the hell out of Going Commando though, and then the PS3, or sorry, then Ratchet and Clank 3, Up Your Arsenal. Clever name, y'all. Good job. It was also phenomenal, and it had multiplayer and online. I didn't really do much of that online. I'll tell you about my online experience very shortly, though. Instead, I beat the hell out of the campaign. I'd play every now and then with my friends online, not online, but on multiplayer. But that was the extent for Up Your Arsenal. Deadlock, however, I beat Deadlock so many times. I know that game forward and backwards like the back of my hand, y'all. Like, I don't know if anyone's beat Deadlock as many times as I have. I'm not gonna say that, but I could be in the ranking of at least 100. Cause, man, I beat that out of that game. And the sad part is, I was always player 1, and some of my best buddy always got Jack. If you didn't know, player 2 gets to freaking get a skin of Jack from Jak and Daxter, which I'll also be getting to, by the way. Getting there. In fact, speaking of that game, another game that was a huge thing for me as a kid in the PlayStation 2 age was Jak and Daxter. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of boys my age, growing up around that time, for sure. Another game with guns. Not the first one, mind you. The first one, which a lot of people will even say might even be considered one of the best, for sure. My favorite, personally, is 3. But as I play it today, I'm like, man, it's a little too easy, though. Like, 3's a lot easy, but so much fun. 2, so hard, but also really fun. And then 1 is just peak, for sure. Like, it's great. And the beautiful thing about Jak and Daxter is they kept all the controls from 1 and just transferred it to 2. So as far as melee goes, it played exactly the same as Jak 1. So all the combos you knew, and all the little neat tricks you knew how to do in Jak 1, you could integrate it completely into Jak 2. And same goes for Jak 3. They just kept giving you more tools, where you most likely, after the hoverboard, you're not going to be walking much, I'll be honest. It's a freaking hoverboard. And they also pull some Tony Hawk shit in there, too. Absolutely fantastic game series, though. I keep saying, I'm sorry, y'all. There's just so much to say here, and it's not enough time to go through all of it. Another game I just got to mention real quick, before I move on to this next really large segment of this video is Sly Cooper. There's that again. Sly Cooper 1 through 3, absolute fantastic series of games. There's a reason why those 3 games that I just mentioned are like a PlayStation trio of games, because I mean, they were fantastic. They were so much fun. The first one is fun to play first, but once you play the others, you don't really. To me, I don't really want to go back to the first one afterwards. You definitely feel like you definitely like yeah, the progression in the first one is fantastic though. It feels great. You feel like you get more powerful, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to and getting the little Thaddeus Raccoon giving his pages and stuff that teach you moves and all that. I think there's also like a time challenge in each level. I can't remember. It's been so long since I played the first one, but I do remember it being a fantastic game. And the second one, y'all, if y'all ain't played Sly 2, I recommend everyone just giving it a try. And if you end up liking the controls, play it all the way through, because the ending is so heartbreaking and just so fantastic. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's so good. And after that, I didn't think there would be a 3, but sure enough, Sly 3 came out, and I don't think I played a game more than Sly 3 since Deadlock. Except for, of course, and this is where this is going to take up a huge portion of this video. I already know it. So 2004, an MMO came out. Y'all might have heard of it. It was called World of Warcraft. And my dad, my cousin, my uncle, everybody played this game when it came out in my family. Not literally everyone, but pretty much. Like, so many people in my family started playing it, and I had to get in on that. You know, I had to play it too. I had to check this out. I had already played a little bit of Dark Age of Camelot, and I played a little tiny bit of Ultima Online. I think I had a character on my dad's account at the time. He let me play a little bit. Probably watch me do some eye docs or something. I don't know. But I remember Dark Age of Camelot a little bit. But I remember my whole experience, every bit of it, of World of Warcraft. And yeah, we started out in vanilla, like probably the tail end of vanilla, mind you. But we started in vanilla, and that's a rare thing to say. I want to say that right now, and I'm so happy to be able to say that. Even if I was just a kid, I still had a little human warrior named Drewby, and we got him at least to the wetlands. I remember that much. I had a little dwarf priest following me. That was my cousin, and he healed. I took all the damage. I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time, because I was really young in 04, but it was great. I loved it. My biggest thing with any video game like an MMO is I like trying out the variety of all parts of the game. So I'll make a class of every class, character of every class, just to try it out a little bit. And I know that's frowned upon in MMOs. They're like, man, choose a main and stick with it, or you're never gonna experience the game. But I'm experienced the game, guys. I'm playing the way I want to play. Am I gonna make it to AQ40? Maybe not. Am I gonna even make it to Naxxramas? Probably not. But you know what? I played the game and I had fun. And in the end, I still haven't seen Naxxramas and vanilla. And they had Classic, and I played that too, and I still never saw Nax. But you know what? You know what? I did in Wrath. That's not saying anything, but I did in Wrath. I'm just glad I didn't play on a server like with like some big shots like if I played against Swifty, I'd probably change servers after seeing that video. Man, that Warrior video where he has breaking me down from Soil playing in the background. Oh man, y'all, he's just beautiful, beautiful piece of WoW history right there. Just chef's kiss, bud. So yes, I played WoW. I would probably still play. Well, no, I probably won't play right now, but I've recently did my backslide of WoW, so I'm good for right now. But so we played on a server. I'm pretty sure called Burning Steps. I want to say that was our server's name. That's the one I'm pretty sure we started out on. That or Burning Blade, something like that. One of the two. I know Burning Steps is also a map, but I think it was a server at the time. I'm not sure. But either way, we started out on Alliance, and we did that up until right before Burning Crusade came out. Then we all decided to switch Horde. Not sure quite why, but I was pretty happy about it because now I hate playing Alliance. It's not I don't get the nostalgia for playing Alliance. It's completely new to me playing Alliance because all I know is I'll get the wetlands and I'll be like, fuck, I don't know where to go from here as much. Like, I mean, I do, obviously, but like, I don't have the memory that serves me. Like, you know, I have the whole Barrens level up, then Stone Talon Mountain, maybe a little bit of Ashenvale, you know, Thousand Needles. I spend all my time over here. I don't even go over to freaking Silver Pine. Screw that. I'll do Hillsbrad. I'll do Foothills over there. But man, that whole game was just phenomenal. Vanilla will even like I hate that I was so young that I couldn't even comprehend that this was gonna be as good as it was gonna get. And I mean, obviously none of us thought that. But like, look how many times they redo vanilla and think about it. It's because it's a challenge, y'all. It's a challenge that requires you to socialize with the people around you. And that makes it not just a video game, but a community. A community where y'all have to help each other. Because if you don't help each other, then you're not going to get quests done that have like amazing rewards. You're not going to get the Scepter of the Shifting Sands quest done. That's for damn sure. But you know, you're not even going to get great loot because most of the amazing loot low level are from dungeons. Like I don't know where I would be in WoW if I never did Welling Caverns and and Dead Mines. Sorry. I think of as a Horde player, I think of the Nightmare Run from to get the Dead Mines because I didn't play on a role playing server. I didn't play on a normal server. I played on a PvP server, guys. And if you don't know what that means player versus player. That means if you go into an alliance zone, you can't attack them until they attack you. And if they attack you, they usually gather around you and freaking you're gone. They'll gank you. They say, "Horde scum, get him," and you're gone. You're running. You're just you can just there's nothing you can do. You just and you can only get like maybe 5 feet away from where you rezzed. So you get that much inch, then you get a little bit of inches, then you get dazed and charged by a warrior or gets hit by a frostbolt and you just don't make any move. Then and you're just by the time you get into the entrance, most of your gear is already broken. I remember this one time the guy in the group was like, "Hey, bring some really bad armor that you know you're not going to use at all, and just put that on and have that get broken, and then put on your good armor when we get into the dungeon." I was like, that's brilliant. Does it break in my, will the armor break in my inventory? And I don't think we found that out, but I was able to do that dungeon with full gear. Joke's on you, Alliance scum. But yes, I would play so many different characters. I didn't get max level until Wrath of the Lich King. That's the third expansion, if y'all don't know. And that was the easiest to get max level. And I mean, I'm sure y'all are like, oh, this guy was a noob. But, I mean, yeah, I kind of was, though. I'll agree on that one. I was totally a noob. But let's be honest, y'all. We were all fucking noobs at the beginning of WoW if you played from vanilla. Because look what we were playing on. Like, you know how fucking slow the dinosaur I was playing WoW on was? It was an E-machine, and till this day, I don't know how I played WoW on it for so long. Like, up until Wrath, I played on this little crappy E-machine computer, and I'm just like, how? What's... Oh, man. It was fantastic too. And my first 80 wasn't a Death Knight though. It was I mean, people are gonna give me probably more grief about it. It was a fucking hunter. It was a hunter. I got my tank got me there, or you know, my personal little tank, my pet. It was a good time though, and Wrath was fantastic. I never got to Outlands and Burning Crusade. I didn't like. What pushed me to get 55 was the Death Knight class coming out. And my first 60 was a Death Knight. Because I got my hunter to 55, made a Death Knight orc, and then I logged off and fell asleep. Woke up the next day, got him 58, made it to Outlands for the first time as a Death Knight, and I was like, I'm a piece of shit. And I got like into Zanger. I got all the way to Zangarmarsh, and then I logged off him. I was like, I can't have this be my freaking main character. I can't have him be the first 80. I worked all the way from level 1 on this hunter. He has to be my first 80. And by God, he was. Got him to 58. Got him down to the Outlands. Got him to Zangarmarsh. Did all the quests in Zangarmarsh, got to Nagrand, completely skipped, did I skip anything there? I guess you can go to Taraka Forest, or however you pronounce it. But, no, I think I leveled Nagrand until that, and probably Dungeon Finder. I imagine that's what got me all the way to 70. And once I got to 70, I went straight to Northrend to try out the new expansion that I never even thought I would really try out because, you know, I had so many alts. But I finally buckled down and got all the way to 80 on the hunter. And instead of raiding it all or getting tokens to, you know, do heroics where I could get heirlooms, I didn't do any of that. Instead, I got tired of being DPS waiting in the Dungeon Finder forever. I logged back on the Death Knight and turned him into a Blood Death Knight. Went tank and got him to 80 way faster. Like, I did no quest on him. I just instant queued. It's like this, y'all. Level. It was amazing. What a freaking time to game. Yes, World of Warcraft was a phenomenal game. It kept that way for me up until Cataclysm. To the tail end of Wrath, instead of trying to do ICC, I made the pursuit of getting every single heirloom for every single class. Because as you know, I was an altaholic. And I wanted a 80 of every freaking class because I would be playing these, I'd be playing in the dungeons and see this class just whooping ass, doing crazy DPS or keeping me alive, insane. Now, listen, there was this one druid that I was such good friends with that just right before Wrath ended, just made me just completely made me create a new druid because my other druid, my other druid had a stupid name and I can't remember what it was, but it was something completely stupid like Moo Chow or something weird, something hilariously something to do with a cow definitely and something weird. But yeah, I didn't know in Cataclysm was gonna get troll druids, so I just deleted that one and created one with a more official name. Um, Something to do with Resto because I made him a healer, and you bet your ass I got him all the set of air limbs that he could have, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely I fell in love with the druid class, the healing druid class specifically. I did try doing a little tanking, and I hated bear form tanking. It was awful. But Wrath Resto Druid healing was phenomenal, and I was the best damn Resto Druid you would ever see, y'all. The best for the Horde. And then, oh man, and then Cataclysm came, and that wasn't bad. Getting 85 on my Druid wasn't bad, but there was such a significant difference in normal dungeons and heroic dungeons, and patches came right after I was able to get heroic dungeons, and they nerf sticked my boy, and they nerf sticked him bad, y'all. Resto Druids, Dookie heals. It was so sad. It made me go back to my hunter and get him 85 because I was tired of it, and I didn't want to tank, not in Cataclysm, because if I was if I was doing bad, I was very discouraged because if I did bad in healing, I figured I would do bad as well in tank. Like I would just do like I didn't, these were new dungeons. I didn't want to tank. I didn't know the dungeons. I was scared to tank new dungeons but that was foolish of me because it was new to everybody, not just me. So I feel like people would have given me a little bit of a break. What am I saying? This is the MMO. We don't give people breaks. But yeah, sadly, that's where my WoW story is going to end. And I think also where I'm going to end this video because it is very long, and while my story ain't complete, it's easy to say if I played WoW today, I know I would have a blast. I mean, I played classic hardcore right when it came out a while back, so that was my feel for WoW, anyways, for a while. But man, I'd shake it up in there right now. I'd have to get on that streamer server and show them boys what's really up, because guys, I played WoW. All right, if y'all have a favorite video game or you have a story that y'all would like to share about your video game experience, please, by all means, share it with me in the comments down below. I would love to read y'all's stories, hear what y'all's video game childhood memories were like. I have so much more to talk about. I might do a part 2 of this video sometime later. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I promise the next video game segment will definitely bring you news rather than a story. Have a great day, y'all.